So, quick fire, right?
First of all, greeting and everything.
Okay,
Hi, guys.
Start again.
Okay.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, guys. Welcome to episode 2 of Flex in the City. We are currently in the process of possibly shopping for a new podcast name because I think the breadth of our content is in the process of changing or broadening. And we are thinking that we might need a title that encompasses that. However, if people are happy with the current title, then we're also happy to keep it the same. So if you guys can leave it in the comments or on our Instagram page and let us know. We'll also be putting a poll up on the Instagram page. And you can let us know which way you vote, and we can reveal those results at the next episode. 2 episodes later. 2 episodes later. Yeah,
exactly.
So 4. But as for today, we are Flex in the City. Hi.
I'm Ghada.
I'm Lisa, and welcome. We hope you guys enjoyed episode 1. That was a little bit about us, even though we got completely thrown off a tangent, trying to introduce ourselves.
It was just for you guys to get a feel for us.
Exactly.
You know?
So just get to know us a little bit, but also get a feel for our rapport with each other.
Yeah.
So hopefully that gave you a taste of that. But in being more on task and focused this week, firstly, I want to also introduce a few of you guys more to Ghada. So what I'm going to do is a segment called Quick Fire, where I'm going to ask her general-ish questions, just this or that questions, and she's going to answer it. If that generates any sort of continuing conversation thereafter, that's fine. But again, just part of our icebreaker to get things rolling and to also get us acquainted with you.
So
yourselves.
You don't get these quick fire questions?
You're going to do me next week. Y'all know what I mean.
Okay.
It's not that kind of podcast.
And I haven't seen these questions. Just
Yeah. She doesn't know what I'm
But
going
I
to ask.
asked her to keep them PG.
We do have families,
Yeah.
so we have to think about.
Yeah.
I'm using her phone, so
Yeah.
she has to unlock it for me. All right, ready?
Got it.
All right.
Do I have to answer right away?
Quick fire.
Okay.
It's not slow fire.
Okay.
It's not slow burn.
Okay.
Okay, ready? All right. Cold or warm?
Warm. No, cold. No.
As I said, you're going to learn more about us because indecisive.
Cold.
Wait, before we move on, cold in terms of drink or temperature, or just in general?
You made the question
Well,
up.
that's why it's vague, because...
Cold in terms of the drink, and maybe even the temperature. I know I come from the desert, but I just can't handle the heat. Like, I'm sweating right now, and it's only 25 degrees.
I've been in Germany too long. I blame... Okay, your phone has locked itself. What kind of security?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to go through them now. All right. Sweet or savory or spicy?
Savory.
Mornings or late nights?
Afternoon, or late evening.
She said afternoon.
Option C.
She's one of the people that if the options
sunset.
are A to D on the exam, she's going to say E. Hip hop or Afro beats?
Afro beats.
Nice. Strength or flexibility?
Strength.
Youth or wisdom?
Damn it, Lisa. Wisdom. Do I still...
Because we have no choice now. Youth is
Seriously,
gone.
in our 40s. Wisdom, please.
Beauty or brains along the same line?
Brains.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Crowds or solitude?
Crowd. Solitude. In the middle. Can I be in a crowd but in the corner? Is that an option, please?
In the crowd, but in the corner is not allowed. That's okay. Solitude, yeah, is the extreme. But if you had to choose, because the crowd is one extreme and solitude is the other.
Then
extreme.
solitude.
Nice. Same with me, I think.
Yeah,
I like my own company.
I get a bit anxious also if there's if it's too many people.
Yeah, me too. Especially if it's people I don't know. largely or know that well, then
Oh yeah, I'm looking for exit signs when there's like
I'm like,
I'm like,
so
if there's a stampede, I need to know which way to go, and I'm gonna leave everybody behind. Like
that's where having kids is the best excuse ever.
seriously,
Unless it's a play date, in which case you're captive.
You're screwed.
That's why I don't go.
Oh man.
Nice. So that was just a little bit of an icebreaker to start the episode. I find the older I've gotten, and it's again probably a having kids thing, always around the house, I crave solitude. I actually find myself, once that door closes in the morning and everyone's off to daycare and school and work, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I
have
know what
this-
you mean. Like, do you find yourself going into the bathroom for like hours at a time just to like escape? No, is that just me?
Why the bathroom?
Like, where else am I gonna go? You have
the whole house. Ain't nobody there.
No, I mean like when the kids are home.
Oh
When the
yeah,
kids
yeah,
are
yeah.
home.
Oh yeah. Bathroom
Yeah.
is just taking a shower.
No, when they're not home,
is
I'm
an
not
escape.
hanging out in the
I
bathroom.
was like, wow. No,
I'm
I
on-
don't find myself.
I'm on the balcony, like just chilling.
Yes,
you know?
yes. No, I definitely feel that. I love that. Or if it's just doing stuff that you really just can't do when they're around. If it's even binging a show, I took that for granted so much
Oh my god.
before. And like the other day, my son Dante had rugby practice till late, and then I didn't have pickup for daycare till later, and I was like, oh my god, I get to watch like Bridgerton
Oh,
in the middle of the day.
I love
Which
Bridgerton. Did you watch the newest season?
that's the one that I was just watching actually. So
Okay.
I waited. Do you prefer? It's another like little snuck in quick fire. Do you
Mm.
prefer like binging the whole thing at once, or if it was like Netflix has spoiled that for us, but if it was week by week, would you prefer like just watching it one week to the next and having that suspense in between?
So here's what I do.
Mm.
I have some classic shows that I love to watch, and I like watch them on repeat, like Friends, Office.
Oh, we're gonna come back to that.
Yeah, yeah. I know Friends has some issues. I get it. And then there's shows like the new stuff that comes out, like Bridgerton. I will watch maybe like 2-3 episodes in a row, but then I don't want it to finish. I don't want it to end. So even
So
if
you
I know
save
there's another, I save it, because then I'm like, my biggest thing is, what am I going to watch next?
Yeah.
Like, it takes me forever to pick something that I do want
Me
to watch.
too. Me too.
And
And we
once
don't
I
have
do
time.
find
We
it-
don't have time
Yeah,
to think
and
about
then
it.
once I do find something, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch 2, but then sometimes I'll be like, oh, I need to finish it in the middle, like I need to cut it off in the middle.
So that you
Just so I
you
have
save something for
something.
yourself,
Yeah.
and you have it to look forward to in
Exactly.
the interim.
Exactly. So,
Yeah, I try to do that, but I really can't, because I know if I stop, I'm probably never going to have another chance again to
Yeah.
be able to sit down and watch one or
Oh
two
no, the
episodes.
kids take over the TV.
Completely.
Like massive TV is not even ours. It's like,
Oh, and now with like the UEFA, with the
Yeah,
football,
yeah.
forget about
Forget it.
Like
I
I'm just like,
can't
so
even.
I'll be on
And the
TV at 11
sound
p.m.
of the sound, as soon as the football comes on, like this football match comes on,
It
the
has to be
sound
on
of the
extra
commentators
loud.
literally makes my insides like cringe.
That's another thing. All the
I can't
commentating
stand
is in German, and even though I don't understand the language, I feel like it's not great. Because you can listen to a Spanish commentator. Hear me out. A Spanish commentator, or like the Portuguese people.
Arabic.
You're Arabic
Goal!
for like 20 minutes. You're in the second half. He's still saying goal. Same thing. Like back home for us, the commentators was everything.
Yeah.
You know, like that is the energy that you want when you're watching
Right.
football. Even if you're watching the game, that's part of the experience. Football, in the States, the commentators, like how they
They're
just throw
putting on a
shade and
show.
thank you.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why what they get paid for is entertainment.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And
about
yeah,
it.
the German one, I just feel like it's like he's passing to him. He kicks it back. That wasn't a great pass. Looks like they're not at their best this season.
I need to pay attention to that. I really don't. Like, I just walk out of the room as soon as it comes on. I just can't do commentators in general.
See, I've been watching it,
sound-
but
the
I'm like, yeah,
sound
we need
is-
to put the volume down.
Yeah.
And it works because the baby's sleeping, so I'm always like, you guys, the volume has to be way down.
Oh, good excuse.
Baby will sleep through anything. But
Good
yeah,
excuse.
yeah, I have to, because yeah, I just, I can't.
Yeah.
But one I did was Bridgerton, so I got to watch that. And did you watch all the seasons so
Yes.
far?
Yes,
Including
I'm all
the
caught
spinoff,
up.
the Queen Charlotte? That was
That for
favorite
me,
too.
I enjoyed that more
more than, oh, me too. Me
actual
too.
Bridgerton series.
And you know what I like about this series too is that these are people. A lot of them are actual real characters, like from history. Like I didn't know that Queen Charlotte was this black woman, and she, was a result of obviously like some German. They be dipping in the chocolate.
That whole part is legit.
Yeah, so basically what they wanted was obviously nobility to marry nobility. And because George was crazy, he's actually known as the Mad King.
Yeah.
They were like, no one is actually gonna marry this dude and stay. Whereas there's this girl who was brought up as part of the royal family in Germany at the time, even though she was a result of the German Kaiser or whatever at the time, and one of his slave women or someone. They called them Moors at the time. White people are creative with words for black people. Y'all just come up with all kinds of words for us. Just wow. Can't pronounce our names, but anyway. And he actually kept the child, the young girl that was born, and raised her as his own. So that's Charlotte, who then becomes, queen. And it's pretty badass. And they had like a slew of children. That's also real. But a lot of the characters, so not just her, but like from season 3, the guy who is the boxer that owns the bar, he's a real character. He's based on a real guy. Yeah, like Shonda, she be reading. She does her research, and so
she's talented.
I don't know what happened with Grey's Anatomy. It never hit me, but everything else that
you didn't get into it. Oh, I stopped watching them after
no. I was
Derek
like, what kind of hospital is this?
After Derek died, I was
like,
done.
Where is the sanitation? Everyone's fucking all over the place. Like, when are you actually doing medicine?
I love how solitude in the house after kids leave turns into history lesson, turning into hospital sanitation.
Listen, it's natural segues. Okay. This is flow. This is what we call flow. Okay, it's happening. But anyway, so I really like that these are characters that if you didn't know about before, then you watch the show and you actually go back and say, oh, let me find out a little bit more about this person, especially the fact that she highlighted that there were people of color that were part of society. I love that.
Yeah.
They're doing a little too much with the diversity, I feel, though. Season 3, how is every single member of that family ending up with a person of color?
Oh.
It's like the 1812 version of the Kardashians. Like even the Ma as well.
That's true.
Sorry guys, spoilers. If you haven't watched you're living under a rock.
No more spoilers. I think
But yeah, like I'm not mad at it, but I see what they're doing, but I'm like, you gotta like ease into it a little bit. Okay. You can't just be like throw all of the minorities in there and like, you have like, I won't say the names, but like threesomes with some of the characters, and then you have the lesbian potentially relationship coming in the next one, and then you have all of the
yes.
Because in the books, that's a male character.
Have you read the books? Are you a reader?
That's two different questions. Okay. Yes, I am a reader.
Okay.
I have not read the books because I enjoy watching that kind of stuff more so now because it's an escape. From just the day to day, but it's not like actually my steez. Like it's not my sort of chosen genre. Reading I do, but I read mostly nonfiction, especially now. So that, but I haven't actually read a book start to finish in a really long time.
Oh,
since before I had the baby.
Oh yeah, I mean he's still a baby, so you really can't find that time just yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of it now where, at least he's not as dependent when he's sleeping and I have that time, but you're just exhausted from the day and I don't know how you do it with 3, honestly.
Who says I'm doing it?
Your kids are happy and healthy.
Are they happy? I don't know.
They look happy. I've seen them. Happy? They're not mouthing help to me when I see them. They're not like,
help me.
They're good. They're good. They look really happy.
SOS.
Yeah, no, you seem to be doing good. And you don't look frazzled, like, their moms. The ones that you see and you're like, she's doing it tough. Even if she might just have one, but she just looks like she's struggling.
I think that's what motherhood has taught me is that I can't do it all. If there's anything I've learned along the way is that I literally can't do it all and I'm okay, like, like debunking this super mom kind of myth Like for me,
that expectation
that I have to be a perfect mom, a perfect wife, like the house has to be clean all the time. The kids have to be, just perfectly put together, showered all the time. Like no, like,
especially with boys, that ain't gonna happen.
Boys, that ain't. Okay, like the older ones, I don't have to tell them to shower anymore. Thankfully.
Yeah, that's good when you pass that stage.
And they play football, so that's like when they come home sweaty from football, it's like, oh, I'm sweaty, I stink, I should shower. So thankfully, football is forcing them into the showers. Sports. Without football, I don't know what I would be doing.
Importance of sports.
My house would just be stinking like a gym, like a locker room all the time, which it does.
I was going to say sometimes it's still good because the socks and the shoes.
Yeah, but if there's anything that it's taught me is that it's okay to just be okay with it not being perfect all the time.
That's a tough one for me.
Yeah.
So I still, especially just over the last year. So when I was still working, so I recently, as you know, moved here, relocated from Dubai, where I was working for a while, and I was initially there on my own, and then brought the family through, and it was hard because initially being there on my own, and anyone who knows me, like perfectionist about my space and just my way of doing things, and you fall back into this habit of being like, okay, it's my space, I have control over everything, which is a very, very comfortable place for me, being in control. And then your kids come into the mix and they're like, I know you want to control this space, but
that's not going to happen.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah. Oh, they're in charge, 100%.
Yeah. And being able to just like resign or release the need to control everything was really hard. Even with little things, just, who is drilling down there?
We're keeping it as raw as possible.
Listen,
so
it's not going to be one of those
everything.
pristine, pretty little,
No,
oh my goodness, we have 15 cameras and like ring lights and like blah, blah, blah. Like it's life, it's as real as it gets.
Yeah.
And so how we film, provided that we can still bring the content to you in a digestible and coherent way, it's just going to be as real as possible. So sometimes there'll be some idiot.
They're beautifying the city for us.
Are they?
Thank you.
Are they? He's drilling something. It doesn't sound like nature.
No?
But anyway.
So you're having a tough time giving up your
that's really hard for me.
Control and your space.
Yeah. So I noticed that starting out in Dubai, because obviously it's the first time I've had 2 children now, and also cohabitating with my partner and the children, and you realize your partner also has his own way of living, and your kids have their own way of living. A baby is doing his own thing. Every hour, the rules change with that. So all of that was like crazy. And then on top of that, not having the sleep and not being able to get to the gym, not having control over my physique, my health, and then going to work, and actually work became the escape. So going to the office actually was like, you know what? This is so low key compared to right? Because it's so low key compared to going back home, and she's cutting an actual tree down.
Cutting a tree down. That's what it is. It's getting louder.
It's like he's coming
getting closer.
In episode 1 we talked about Texas Chainsaw. That's what it's sounding like.
They found us.
Funny thing, speaking about nonfiction. Oh, it stopped. Chainsaws were actually invented to. I haven't verified this, but I did read on more than one source that chainsaws were actually invented to perform surgery on women for, facilitating childbirth.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What the hell? Like what?
Yeah.
Like cutting off legs or something? I don't understand.
I don't know. I read that somewhere. You guys check that out on me, like, debunk
so was that
or not.
Actually being used?
They did crazy shit back in the day. So that was one of the revolutionary
But the chainsaw
inventions.
is the electric ones. Are you talking about like the actual saw? Like the chainsaw
I read
is
chainsaw.
Like
so
this.
a saw with a chain. I don't know if it's automatic, motorized, battery operated, hand operated. This guy's getting closer.
Let's wait.
All right, we're gonna pause for a second, and we're gonna come back because this is great.
Okay, guys.
All right, so we're back.
We're back.
Hope that there won't be. I need to sneeze. Hold I'm sitting next to all of this pollen. Ooh.
But that's your good side, so you got to be on that side, right?
Sort of. I don't really have a good side anymore.
Stop it.
It's just
I'm gonna
it's
hate
just
you.
sides.
I'm gonna hate you. We were
Sorry.
talking about.
We were talking about control, and I was saying that I was really confronted with circumstances that forced me to relinquish control or just basically get burnt out and be unhappy. And then when you're unhappy, obviously you have an attitude, your mood isn't right, you come back to your family, you're giving them attitude. It's
Yeah.
bad for everybody. And
Yeah.
I think especially as a woman, you're kind of the heartbeat of the mood in the house, and so if you're in a bad mood, like especially if it's all men,
It's
everyone's gonna grab it,
and they don't know what to do with us, so they just kind of like run away,
exactly,
as opposed to like wanting to deal with it and like, hey, are you okay? Like, no,
it's just not.
No.
So that was, I was like, I need to sort my shit out, and that was really hard, and it's still something that I'm grappling with because day to day here, even after we moved here, I don't have that escape of work or a job that I go to per se every day. I do have things that I do every day. I do have time to myself, and you fit in what you need to do for yourself in that time. But at the end of the day, a lot of what you end up doing is for everybody else.
Except for yourself.
Exactly. So I'm interested, like you said that you sort of gone through that and come out largely on the other side, and how? How did you do it?
So I guess I should maybe give a little bit of my backstory then, to kind of explain how I don't even know if I'm out of it, but at least I'm like figuring it out along the way. So my background was always in marketing and communications, and like the last 20 something years, that's what I've been focusing on. And then we moved here, and of course, COVID hit, so there was no work opportunities. I literally moved right before COVID. And so it was always just me home with the kids all the time. And then at some point, I did manage to get a job, and I went back into the corporate world, and I was handling events and communications for this company. But I left them about a year after I was with them, and last year, reaching my 40s, something hit me. It was like a mini midlife crisis where I literally looked around. I was like, what am I doing with myself? What am I doing for myself? What have I been doing this entire time? And I just kind of went into panic mode. I was like, no, you know what? Like, I've spent the last 13 years taking care of everyone else. I've been married to my husband for almost 16 years, so it's always been it's either my husband or my kids. They've always been a priority, and they are my priority, 100%. I love them to death, but somewhere along the way, I lost myself, and I just thought, there's got to be more than just doing this mom thing and taking care of the house, and then going, and I was working, but it was like I was also in autopilot, So I think, and that's when I came across this whole coaching program, and it was, okay, I was just like, let me go through this program to kind of coach myself. And figure out how to, and it was a holistic health program, so it was really focusing not just on, you think health and you think, oh, what you're eating, what's on your plate, but we focused on the primary foods, so looking at the person as a whole. So you look at your relationships, your career, your home environment, your spirituality, all of that stuff. And
unresolved issues.
Yeah. So like once I started looking at all of that and like seeing what was really bogging me down, and it was really not having a purpose. That I think was really getting to me, because once you become a mom, I feel like we are forced to decide. It's either you stay home with the kids and just not have a career for yourself, or you go have a career but you never see your kids.
That's it. Or you could do both, but you're never really excelling at both.
You're dropping the ball somewhere.
That's it.
And so I think that was that.
And some dads as well.
Some dads, 100%. I think it applies to everyone. There's no flexibility for parents in general. And I think just going through that program and kind of like walking myself through that, I I'm not saying I'm a perfect parent now, but what has helped is that I know when I need time for me, and as long as I am good, like as long as I take care of myself, then I have
Everyone else
energy
is
to
good.
take care of everybody else. You know,
Everyone
like
else
I
is
said,
good.
my kids and my husband are priority, but right now I'm making me my number one priority because I am of no use to anybody.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is like the biggest thing that I've been telling myself all this last year as I've been going on this journey is. So that is my long-winded answer to
No, I think that was really necessary as well,
Yeah.
because I don't think everyone knows about like sort
Yeah.
of how we got to where we are now
Yeah.
from college and we spoke about.
Yeah.
So no, it wasn't long-winded. I think that was really good to explain, and also a really clear way of touching on the fact that you've done it sort of both ways. You know?
Yeah.
And that for me, like I know that exactly what you're saying is correct, and I'm sitting here, I'm nodding, I'm like, yeah, like I need to be good to be.
I'm not saying anything new, right?
Right.
But you just need a
Everyone's
reminder
been saying
sometimes.
this. You read everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be. You can't like I just said. One of the cliches.
Yeah.
You can't pour from an empty cup. We know that, right?
Yeah.
But actually being able to live that is a whole different game. Like it's just yes, but then you're like, yeah, but I need to do this for them, and I need to and if I do that for myself, then I won't be able to do this for them, or it means that I can't. And like you're pulled in different directions at the same time. So being able to not only discern that, but get rid of this inherent like guilt that you feel.
Guilt. Oh my God.
Because when you're doing something for yourself, unless it's like at crazy hours, like when I was in Dubai, I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning or 4:30 to go to the gym at 5 a.m. and be back in time to pump, and then be with the kids, and then go to work, and then try to do all these things. But I'm waking up at 4:30, but I haven't really slept because I've been awake with the baby. But it was the only time that I could be in the gym and have the clarity of mind I needed, because I'm like, everyone's asleep. I'm not sort of stepping on any toes, or I'm not thwarting any duties that are required of me.
Yeah.
I'm doing something for myself outside of business hours.
I love that.
You know, but like
it worked for you, right? Or do you feel
but it
like
wasn't
you were
sustainable, because it worked only
To a
insofar
certain degree.
as if I was getting sleep at night, I would have continued. That's my preferred time anyway to train. I would have been able to continue that, but I would have burnt out at some point, because I would go to work.
Out.
I did actually. I didn't even know that I was burning out.
You were in denial. She was in denial about it.
I didn't know. So
doctor's like, you are stressed out and burnt out.
I was like, no, I feel fine.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
your insides are literally attacking
They're
yourself
yelling.
with acid. So I got like stress-induced gastritis. And the doctor was like, what have you been doing that's stressful? I was like, nothing. I don't know where this is coming from. And my partner was like, you've just relocated, you just like quit your job, you just, all of these things are happening. And it's all happened in the space of like 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
And I was like, fair point.
We as women are programmed to like
just get it done.
Get it done and dumb down everything. Like we could be like bleeding from the arm, like like dislocated shoulder. But
walk
we
it
will
off.
still
Walk it off.
be
I'm good.
walk it off.
I'm
We'll
good.
still be in the kitchen making dinner, like you know.
Stir with the other hand.
Stir with the other hand. Like that's I don't know if it's all women, if it's our generation.
Do you think it's cultural as well? I definitely think culture is in there, especially like with our culture.
Us, like
very
Arab
more
culture,
so.
Kenyan culture, like it's definitely there. Like definitely, I did feel this need that I need to be home with my children.
Yeah.
I need to be home. I should be cooking for them. I should be cleaning.
And I should be able to do it all perfectly.
Yeah.
Because there's women that have 3 times as many children as I do, and they're doing it. So what am I complaining about?
And with a smile on their face.
With a smile on their face.
And the Botox
and they're still looking okay and still looking cute, and they got their man happy, and like so.
I feel like they have like 500 nannies then or something. Like
there are
going
those.
On.
I definitely came across those in Dubai, and like I just never could come around to doing the nanny thing. I think I did that quite a bit with my elder son because I had to be away. Significantly because he couldn't travel with me that's another story for another day, but he was largely with my parents,
right.
And but yeah, I just like the nanny thing. I was like, I don't want that. Like mind blowing for people in Dubai. Like even my workmates at the time were like, why? Like just get cameras and like go do your thing, go to dinner, go to brunch. And I was like, ah,
But that might go back to also your control.
100%, 100%.
I mean, and there's a whole story behind, you know,
how I became.
Yes.
No,
and like
or
exactly how
Yeah.
and with your kid and all of that. Like, so I feel like wherever you can, you have tried to maybe gain control, even if it's the little things. Like, you should see her house. Her house is like spotless.
It's not.
And,
no, I
and
didn't even.
she's got like white furniture. I was like, you have 2 boys. How?
Everybody gets at me about the white couch. Everybody.
Everything. It's not just the white couch. There's a white rug. There's white, like even the little accessories on the like everything is white. And she's just. But you're in such like your house is like the one. I feel like the one place where you do still maintain that control.
Yeah.
Because I think it's been so.
I need it because it's my oasis, it's my saving grace, it's my only like port in the storm.
Is this pre-kids?
Yes.
Always?
I can
like
say that because comfortably say that because when I lived by myself, I still needed to ensure and this is for a lot of reasons. So I could definitely point out the reasons why when I was living in Sydney, when I was in Australia, anyone who's been there or lived there, especially as a person of color, like amazing, one of my favorite places in the world, and definitely like a second home to me. And I'll forever, go back there. I want my children to know it really well. I have lots of friends there. Y'all better be watching. But there's just this extreme ignorance, and there's almost like a feeling like you're 20 years behind the rest of the world. And it might be the fact that it's so remote, but in a lot of ways it is really quite sort of, especially Sydney, it's like sort of small town folks, and no shade to them because like Sydney people are amazing. So you have the dichotomy of people who are kind of like small town folks. Did I spit all over myself? Trying to be
and they didn't see it. Right, guys?
Edit it out. And small town folks trying to be like city folks, but still like small town mentality. And with that comes, a lot of like lack of exposure. So yeah, like you get stared at, you'll get comments, you'll get things yelled at you. I've had some of the craziest experiences. And people are still in denial about that. They're just like, no, but we're so multicultural and da-da-da. And so for me, being in an environment like that, after actually having lived in other places that were multicultural and not having to face that, I was like, I need a port in a storm. I need somewhere where I don't have to be on guard when I walk out the house. So used to creating that. Whereas when then I moved to Dubai, I was there for a short time before then. The kids came,
he was on his coffee break.
Really? Oh, my neighbor down there done locked his door. He's like, listen, I'm not here for it. We're gonna take another break. Oh wait, nah, he's still going. And we're back, at least for the time being, before the next tree gets cut down.
Yeah. So you were saying once you got to Dubai, to control.
Yeah, initially I think because I was there on my own, I did have my space that I liked the same way I do. That was just more of a preference or a taste thing, but I didn't feel the need so much to have this cocoon because I didn't feel sort of like I was standing out when I walked out. I the same feeling and the same comfort that I had inside the house, I had outside the house. So then the kids came, and the family was living with me, and a lot of sort of unforeseen things happened. And then like the talks that we had about wanting to relocate here to Germany, and the uncertainty now about the next stage, and me just sort of saying, oh, I just kind of settled here and I have to uproot again, and all of that was so unforeseen and outside of my control, and I couldn't see the end point.
I mean, it
was a lot. It was a lot. And all the while having to keep my couch white was Like,
Number one priority.
listen, we made it. It's still white, for now.
For now.
But so it was a lot, and I felt, okay, like, walls closing in, like, I don't know, and I can't control anything, and I can't even do the one thing that's my therapy, which is training and fitness and doing something that's good for my body, but also allows me to release a lot of tension. And so,
why couldn't you do it?
just time. So I wasn't sleeping because the baby was waking up every hour on the hour, basically every night. And so the only time that I could train would be that 5 a.m. time.
Right,
so if it meant that I can get 2 hours of sleep in the morning that I couldn't ordinarily get, I would do that. Because then I still had to be alert at work and competent.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd come home and, do groceries, cook dinner, clean the house, and luckily both of us, I think, are lucky in that regard, have partners who are very supportive.
Yeah, very involved. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a game changer for me as well. And but it was still hard. It was still hard. And I think coming out of that, I realized when I'm not doing the things that are necessary for self-care, I'm going to not be as great at the things that I am doing for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to diminish my capacity to do that if I'm not at my best. And so
I believe that 100%.
Yeah, so that's when it started emerging to me, that importance for self-care, even if it's just getting up and, like, some days you don't even have a chance to take a shower, and sometimes that is the thing that and I know, like, Instagram highlight reel, all of that, it looks and reads different, but let me tell you, like, the reality,
it's not as pretty.
It isn't. It's
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes. It's amazing as well too. It's fulfilling. That's why people be having 6, 7, 8, 9 kids out here, because it's hard, but it's fulfilling.
Yeah.
But it's once you understand that you're still a factor, you're still a person, you're still a part of the family that you are taking care of. You take care of everyone else. You're also a part of that family. You need to be taken care of.
Exactly.
So
that is so key that you said it right there, that you are a part of it and not just like an outsider looking in. Like sometimes you feel like the cook, the maid, the chauffeur, but you never feel like you're just one of them too. Like if they need all of that tender love and care,
you do too.
You do too.
You do too.
You know?
Mm.
And who's looking out for, if no one's looking out for you, then you got to look out for yourself.
That's it. And again, supportive partners do help with that, but men especially are not mind readers. So a lot of this stuff, especially if you're like us and you just like hold it all in, like the people around you who do care and who do want to help might not know. And sometimes you can't pinpoint it yourself. You don't know what's happening because it's new. Like I didn't really have it the first time around, my first pregnancy over 10 years ago. Whereas now it's new to me because also the dynamic of my life is different. I'm now not employed traditionally. I'm trying to build a home in a foreign country.
Yeah.
Whole nother episode. And create that feeling, whole another 2 episodes probably. Create that feeling of comfort and also protection for my kids as well. So all of that is happening where at the same time I'm like, I'm still navigating this place too,
Yeah.
So being able to speak up, that is what has helped a lot. And telling my partner, look, your country's racist as hell, and this shit pisses me off. And luckily he has, already the reason why we've always been close for almost 2 decades is because he was already sort of one of those woke ones, but he's done a lot to actually educate himself as well, which is necessary. I do too, because we're bringing up biracial children. That's new. I'm not biracial, neither is he, and so there's experiences that I have as a Black woman that my boys who are not women or fully Black also won't have, and there are things that they'll go through that I might not understand unless I educate. And same with him. So that's helped a lot, and also with sort of the me stuff, and saying, listen, as a Black woman walking down the street in the streets of Munich, it's freaking hard to just
you feel it,
right? You feel it. You walk down the street and like people look at you. A couple weeks ago, an old lady like covered her face and gasped as she passed by me, people will walk by you and like struggle to look into your stroller because they want to see what your baby looks like. Like, it's insane. And I'm just like,
Do you get stares when you and Michael are walking? I said
100%.
his name.
Yeah, it's fine. You can say his name. It's we do get stares, but it's not to the extent that I get it when I'm on
you're
my
alone.
own, because it's almost like, is she lost? Like,
Oh.
why is she in the city? Why is she in
And
this
when
neighborhood?
you're with him, there's almost like
They're
an
like,
acceptance.
oh,
We get it. That's
she's
why she's
the
here.
she's the accessory.
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy to me that like that's still happening to that extent. Because yes, Australia, like I said, had its stuff, but like here, it's on a whole nother level. On a whole nother level.
Is it on another level because you expected something different? Did you?
I expected it, but I just didn't expect it to be. And to be fair, like Bavarians are very passive aggressive, so because of their history, I think they're like, we can't say it because people are gonna think that we're crazy.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
So, but you get the looks, you get the whispers. Like, there's been times where I've stared back. Like, I'm like, let me embarrass you and stare back at you. Girl, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I call it the donkey stare.
What is that?
They're just like,
wow. That one I will never get used to. That happens on the train a lot. But so because of that, I found myself becoming more of a recluse. Again, creating a cocoon and a hideout. Not really a hideout, but like an escape, an oasis.
That you can control.
Exactly. And that becomes the home now, a space that's like warm and comforting, but also a place where I'm like, I don't have to deal with that shit.
Okay.
So I find myself retreating to that again. But at the same time, that means it prevents me from doing things that are good for me. So in the middle of summertime, I'm going to avoid taking walks because I just don't want to deal with that shit. I just want to go out, put my AirPods in, and like go for a run. But I'm going to have to deal with everyone staring at me when I go for a run. When I go to the gym, same thing. Everyone's going to stare at me the whole time. I'm like, I'm already self-conscious about how I'm looking in the gym. I don't want extra looks because of, something that I can't change. So that has been a huge impediment to the self-care that I know that I need. But I think part of that self-care is also just saying, fuck it. I gotta just...
You just said it yourself. You can't change it. So you're handicapping yourself. It's like you're not going to be able to change them. It's just something that is, whether it's part of the culture or whatever it is, for whatever reason it is, you can't alter that. But you need to focus on you. And you need to just, you are a beautiful, strong Black woman. She's super tall. We talked about this already. Like, you gotta walk down the streets and you gotta own it. Like,
listen, on some days I feel it.
I don't give a shit. I am here.
That's the energy.
My kids are German. I'm raising my kids here. Whether you want me here or not, I am here.
Right.
And I'm gonna own this.
Right.
Literally say that to yourself and talk to yourself every time, a couple times a day, just to kind of, because your brain is already afraid of something and it hasn't happened. Like, your mindset is plays tricks on you with things that haven't happened, but it's creating anxiety.
It's the anticipation that I have anxiety before I even leave the house. That's exactly right. Yeah. And the issue is that the anticipation comes from having had those experiences. And some days I might not. Like, I went to the grocery store yesterday and I was there with the two kids and I was like, it's going to be some shit for sure. There's always some shit. So I was just already poised. And I got to the grocery line and I'm putting my groceries on the conveyor belt, and there's a guy in front of me, some old man. It's always the older ones too that are always, So I was like, oh, here we go. And so I'm, the little separator thing. He put the separator thing there so that his 4 items that he's buying don't get confused with my 56 items. Mm-hmm. So I put the separator thing there. And I'm starting to put my things on there, and there's not a lot of space on the conveyor belt. So I'm kind of squishing my stuff in there. And he just looked at me and he's like, I'm so sorry. And he moved his stuff and moved. I was like, but the fact that something like that.
You were ready for a fight.
You gotta be. Listen, we growing up like this, that is the default. The default is defensive because that's the life that we've that we've come to know.
Yeah.
And especially in an environment like this, that's the only way. And and I understand what you say, like head held high, walk out there and be like, I know my shit, I know who I am. Most days I'm like that. But it's exhausting to have to get into that frame of mind every single minute, every single day. That's really hard. So it's not just the self-care from the stuff that I now know, which is being able to find a way to self-care with all of the stuff at home and, motherhood and regular day to day. It's also now having to develop a way of self-care, of being in an environment that mandates it, that I need to be able to say, okay, I need to go outside, I need to be able to walk around, I need to be able to deal with this, but I still need to be able to keep my cool. I still need to be able to keep my wits and my mood and my balance, and still come home and have that same energy that I left the house with. So that is the one that I'm also
you have to practice.
Also working on.
So it's baby steps. So I mean, instead of like, maybe you start with small trips, like you say, I'm gonna go out for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the minute you feel yourself like starting to go into that,
like retreat,
maybe you just walk right back. And then the next day you say, okay, I'm going to do another 10 minutes. And the point is for you to get to a state of mind where you don't give a shit about what's happening around you.
That has been a goal of mine. And you have to
remember also,
for decades.
we are lucky that we are in a safe city. So like, people might say shit or might give you looks or whatever, but we're still comfortable and safe here.
Yeah, they're not gonna get away with doing shit. Yeah.
And I think that's what you do, is you just start small steps every day, just to kind of get into that. And at the end of the day, like, don't worry about them. Focus more on what's going on in here for you.
Yeah, and that's
like,
the
you've
process.
been fighting the gym. Is it really because you don't want to deal with people along the way?
I've been fighting the gym.
She's been fighting the gym.
You see how she slid that in? I've not been fighting the gym. She asks
Mm-hmm.
me every time we talk if I've gone. And because I've been wanting to start back up, it's an accountability thing, so I appreciate her asking. But yes, I have been making a lot of excuses. I have been. And yeah, you're right. It's more than just that. Am I using it as an excuse to stop doing the things that are difficult? Damn.
We touched on everything. We touched on Bridgerton.
Yeah.
We talked about...
Although we didn't go as far deep into that as we
We talked a little bit about motherhood. We talked about racism. We talked about...
age, self-care.
All of that.
Yeah, it was kind of a mixed bag, and that's kind of what it is. I mean, this is honestly a snippet of how we actually converse. This is just us talking about our stuff, but also, I think, pulling from our life experiences and our know-how and, our qualifications in your case, and my qualifications as a mom.
No, don't sell yourself
as a corporate woman. No, I'm kidding. I'm playing.
You are a lawyer by trade, but you've also got, like, you're working on your CrossFit certification. You are passionate about health. You're passionate about fitness. Like, don't listen to her.
Yeah, we do some
mindset.
Shit.
Come on.
The mindset is there. It's there. It's just,
such a strong and powerful thing, and you need to understand that and take control of it. And only you can do that. I can't do that for you. The neighbor in his underwear, vacuuming in his underwear, can't do it.
He could probably hear you too.
I hope he doesn't speak English.
That's a story for another day. But yeah.
Anyway.
He's not there today.
No?
Someone's vacuuming though.
Someone's vacuuming, yeah.
We'll try and edit that out. Hopefully it's not going to be an issue for the audio. But yeah, I think we should probably...
Let's tell them about... So we are right now calling ourselves Flex in the City.
We are. So as people who may be listening from sort of being followers before, when I had the podcast previously, Flex in the City was very fitness-based, as I said before. We're expanding the format, the content, to encompass largely, as we said in the intro, discussions about motherhood, about women in their 40s, about life, just circumstances, things that we've just dealt with right now, talked about assimilating and cultural differences, etc. So it's going to be, and just ultimately always having, I think, a focus on holistic health and wellness. So Flex and the City was sort of calling yourself to your higher self, to your best self. And in the city was a different city at the time, which was Nairobi, where I was living at the time when the podcast started. Still in the city, just a different one now. So I think the purpose behind the title still works. However, and for those of us who are sort of in our age group,
Sex in the City.
Yeah, it's a play on the Sex in the City sort of
You watched it.
Dude, I would still watch it sometimes here and there.
God.
Although I see it segue through such different eyes now.
Really?
Because I watched it when I was like starting college.
You were in university when we were watching it.
Yeah, it started when I think I was a senior in high school. I wasn't watching it in high school. I went to missionary school. But I watched it when
we were having like Sex in the City viewings at your
yeah,
place.
You remember?
Yeah.
So man.
But yeah, so
with the cheesesteak pizza from Domino's.
Oh my god, I need to go back and watch it then. I haven't watched it.
Go watch it. It will change so much because like yeah, just so much will change, and even how you view the characters. But I think it was a reference that was such a huge part of society that we said let's kind of use that, and it worked. I still think that it's relevant. We've had that chat, but if you guys think that there's a name change that's necessary, we're happy to hear about that in the comments, and also just about any other topics or feedback that you might have. So you can definitely comment on the YouTube page, or definitely drop us a DM on the Instagram page. So
for sure, like and follow and subscribe.
Definitely. I mean, if you do like it, if you don't like it, don't like it. This, but yeah, and again, like we're just starting out, obviously, so be gentle. But we just honestly, it's more about the content than about the setup and all of the sort of bells and whistles. But I mean, as long as you can hear us and see us pretty well, then I think that's all right. But if you guys have any feedback on that, totally open to hearing that as well. But if you like what you're hearing, it's only going to get better. We're only going to get better at doing this. So definitely subscribe and stay tuned. We've told you a little bit about what we're dealing with. It's going to be a journey. So again, subscribing allows you to see that journey through with us, hopefully, and maybe catch some gems along the way. Nuggets of knowledge, probably mostly from her, because I'm too deep in some of my shit still. Shit.
Again, putting yourself down.
It's not. I'm accepting the reality, and I'm knowing that I am trudging through and coming out of it. I understand my strength.
The way you talk to yourself sets the tone for everything. So we're gonna do a whole episode on just
sessions. It's basically gonna be a session. So welcome. You guys are gonna be part of my session.
We're gonna do just how you talk about yourself, how you talk to yourself.
People who know me well know that it's something I've struggled with a long time. So I would be very open
and
to
I
that.
struggle with it too. I'm not saying I've got it figured out, but it really is just, it's just flipping a few words. Instead of saying I should, I can. Instead of saying I can't, I will. It's just flipping those.
I could do all of that. Words I'm easy, I'm good with, but
yeah, but you gotta say them. Keep saying them. Your brain starts to believe it. And say it with conviction, not like, I think I can go to the gym. Well, you know, like, no.
I know I can go to the gym. I know I can kill it there. The problem is just the motivation.
I know that. I can kill it at the gym.
I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been knowing that. That's not helping me get there right now, though. Anyway,
steps, like I said,
baby steps. So there will be a lot of content following sort of these topics and new ones that come up along the way. So if there's anything as well that you guys want us to cover or just discuss, feel free. But yeah, definitely if you like what you're hearing so far, want to see more, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and all of the links for all of that will be below here. I'll try to put that in on the editing and work on that. But and I guess that's it from us for this.
We'll be back again next week, same
Yep.
time,
Friday.
Friday.
Looks right.
Till then,
Till then.
see ya.